Why can't we just start like normal people?
We never start like normal.
We never start like normal people.
That's not what we do here.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
We are back. The boys back in town.
We never really went anywhere.
That's true.
If we're doing the boys are back, we gotta go High School Musical with it.
Yikes! I actually don't know that I could quote that one, to be honest with you.
I don't think I could either. It's okay.
I don't think so. Anyway, so what's up, team? First time for Heather on the podcast in a long time.
Yeah, it's fucking been since Nam.
It has been. I had to ask her to be on here today.
Okay. I have my reasons. I've already stated them. You understand what they are.
I get it.
And I feel like they're valid.
I'm with you. I'm not denying that. I think everybody's got their place in life. Heather's place this morning was yelling on the phone.
I was having a grand old time. I love chatting with him. It was so much fun, and we had great energy when we were at Live Baltimore. So I was.
Who's this?
Isaac.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, it was him and his partner there, and we were like kikiing the whole time. So it was great.
Kikiing?
Kikiing.
What's kiki?
What does that mean?
Like a kiki.
Gossiping.
Like.
I love.
He was born in Nam, wasn't he?
I love that Heather speaks in the language, Liv interprets it, and then Christian's like, "Oh, okay, I get it." And you guys are the same age.
Well,
I know, all three of us.
wait, how old are you?
24.
I'm 26.
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
I think you'll be okay.
He's ready for retirement now.
What?
He's got his real estate investing portfolio right in front of him.
Yeah, we're ready.
Speaking of investing, your dude, the one that you talked to this morning, he's looking to like invest commercially.
He is. He's looking primarily in commercial, but he's currently renting. So he's looking to buy for himself and have something to be building equity and this, that, or the other. So he doesn't have to pay rent, especially after that game we did where everyone's seeing the difference in amounts for rent and mortgage on that same property. Like having $1,000 to $1,300 difference between the two is insane.
I think that game was a brilliant idea.
I think it was too.
Like it's
shout out Liv.
Like we talk about how we didn't capture as many people, but I think the conversation that we had and like the people that I'm working with are because of that game.
Yeah.
Like,
I love it.
I'm working with 3-4 active people just from that one trolley tour. Active people. Like we're seeing houses. We've had buyer consultation. They're chatting with Ryan, right? As to where the last trolley tour, like we were kind of just like handing stuff out.
And didn't capture.
Yeah. And not that the conversion's there right now for this past one, but like the way we go about it, I think the more intimate conversation and the more connection that we had is now leading to us having these appointments. And what are you doing?
I'm trying to capture a lead.
Okay, go.
Speed to lead.
Go!
It's not going to work. It's already gone. It's been 3 minutes. There's no way.
Where's your positivity, man?
It's 3 minutes, bro.
Well,
I
now
just
they
got
have
a
to
call,
scroll
too.
to the top after
If we're
your
allowed to be on our
million.
phone right now, can I take a call? Because I just got one.
From
If
what?
that's what we're doing.
We're not.
Oh, okay. Well, I was mistaken.
La 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 la. All right, so here's the question.
Okay.
The question is, how does buying your first home build investment portfolio? Like if you were talking to somebody about being an investor,
Okay.
how does buying your first home build towards that?
I would just say that it's building the equity, and otherwise the rent that you're paying is just paying someone else's mortgage. Like it's going into someone else's piggy bank, whether it's yours or not. So if you're able to get through the initial process of going through, getting your loan, getting programs or grants or what have you, and you can get into that home, like all the money that you're paying towards rent is paying off your mortgage and your interest and everything like that. So you can get a home equity loan, home equity line of credit in a couple of years. Like you can be pulling money out of that. It's kind of like a piggy bank for you as well.
Agreed.
Is how I would say it.
Agreed.
To a child.
It's your first investment.
Yeah.
Which is what we were talking about today was investment. And this guy trying to go after commercial, he's got to buy his first property to get his first investment. On top of anything, you need that primary residence to qualify for that commercial mortgage. It's just going to have to be, right? Because you need the, well, you said equity. So you need the equity, but you need the net worth, right?
Yeah.
You need that value that somebody sees that you're worth what they're asking for.
Yeah.
Right?
And
I think, no. Anyway, I think Where Christian's going to retire before you is not because he's 2 years older than you.
You said that.
You said it.
I'm retiring at 40, so I don't know about y'all, but
Well, Christian's 2 years closer, right?
That's a race now.
Where that's going to happen is
Game
through
on.
these kind of investments.
yeah.
Right. So I think that if you were talking to a financial advisor, they'd say, oh, the market grows at this rate and I can do this with your money and I can do X, Y, and Z. And I think that it's very tangible. Right.
Yeah.
I can go into my investment account and look at how much my account is worth. But I can't do that when it comes to real estate.
Yeah.
Because it's a non-tangible asset.
Yeah.
But yet it's liquid. Like you could sell it in a minute.
The liquidity is different than other assets, but I hear what you're saying.
She's over here like, I doubt my intelligence.
Do you know
the liquidity is different?
Do you know anyone that has their money tied up into real estate rather than the stock market?
Yes.
Like 100%.
100%.
Okay. And how's that going for them?
You guys are 26.
Yeah.
So you were born in 1997?
I was
96.
98. He was 96.
Okay. These dudes are probably 28, maybe 29.
Are these the ones that you were telling us that
Yeah.
you coached?
Yeah.
I knew it.
As soon as you said it, it was like the very first thing. Now, I don't know that they don't have any money in other assets or other equities, but I know that they built their wealth through real estate. 20 years old, they bought their first property, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, but for me personally, I've got money in the stock market that I go, oh, it's up, oh, it's down, oh, it's up, oh, it's down. And every once in a while I talk to my financial advisor and she's like, it's okay, it's okay. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, so like
know.
something I've been thinking about is like if you get a property and tenants are renting it out, let's say the rent is $2,500. I'm just what?
I'm liking where you're heading.
I guess. You don't even know where I'm headed, do you? This could take a turn for the worse.
That's fair. That's true. I just like the $2,500 a month number.
So
Anyway,
$2,500, and let's say the mortgage is $2,000, right? Like you have that extra $500 of cash flow. Whatever you want to do with it is up to you. Would you advise people to maybe pay off their mortgage more, or use that like added on to paying their mortgage, or like investing it into the stock market? Like, what are some avenues that people can take with that extra money that they're getting from their tenants?
All right, so
that makes sense.
I'm going to throw this back at you.
What's the mortgage payment, first of all?
Okay.
$2,000.
Sure.
Okay.
So $500, I get it. Let's say the mortgage payment was $1,820. Let's say that the property management company's taking, $180 or whatever the deal is, right? They're walking away with $500.
Yeah.
Okay. So the question that you should be asking is, what is the opportunity cost of putting that money in that final destination? If you put it into the principal, if you save it for another future investment, if you put it into the stock market, if you buy CDs, what is the cost of not having that money to use?
I see what you're saying.
So there's no right answer.
Because, well, it kind of goes back to the conversation we had with Bethlehem and Sammy the other day. Like, capital is the number one thing people run out of.
Yes.
So now that you're putting it into other assets or just not having that on you, what is the cost of that?
So an easy way to say this in like real estate
else.
world is your principal buy down isn't helping you grow anything, right? So if you had a $20,000 bonus and you put it towards your mortgage, you're not earning anything off of that $20,000. You're just paying your mortgage off sooner, which in theory is saving you years and years and years of liability. And I get that.
And interest.
And interest, right? But the question really is, could you use that money to be more beneficial for you in the long run? And I think there's a happy value for some people. It's like, yes, I need to put this towards my principal because it's just the way my brain works. I have to have it paid off. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to do the other. And then those are the people that probably don't pay their taxes when they own their property. Their property gets sold at tax sale and then they lose everything. Because they have to. They can't
really
see
did
it for
take
any
a
other way.
turn for the worst. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
right?
dude.
But then if you were to take that $6,000, put it into the stock market, you run the risk of losing it.
Right.
Right. But then if you took the $6,000 and you put it into a piggy bank, you run the risk of somebody breaking in and stealing it.
Or a fire.
And it's
Or
not
fire.
gaining interest.
It's not gaining any interest. Same thing for a
like
small
that
checking
parable in
account.
the Bible.
Yeah.
Right. But then if you turn around and you say, hey, put it into a CD, it's gaining 3%. Like, okay, that's great. And I'm not knocking it. It's better than putting it into a piggy bank. But is it the right avenue? And that's where the conversation has to come internal.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone focuses on that question rather than let me get the first property that gets me the
thing.
$500 a month, that gets me the...
That's kind of
what
it gets me, like, my brain going, like, thinking about investing in a sense. Like, people find this TikTok or this YouTube video,
right?
And it's like, you have to do this, you have to do this. This number has to look like that. That has to look like that, right? And they're, like, coming to the market with this, like, unreal expectation of what investing actually looks like. And so people think that now they can become a millionaire in the snap of a finger.
Right.
And it's like, that's not necessarily how this works. And then the biggest hurdle, rather than you understanding what the actual, that YouTube video is, like having it picture perfect, is just like, just do it. Like, get into the market, like go buy one. Like,
right.
And then you can learn from that as well. Like we were talking the other day, like half the things that you stumble upon are just like luck, or they're just thrown at you.
Right. Well, and that's a byproduct of being in the market.
Right.
Right. So, you know, a controlled value is that I know what's going on in my market. I know what's going on in my property. So if I buy a property, let's just say hypothetically that I buy a property right there in the center of Canton next to the Rite Aid. I know when that Rite Aid moves on, the lease is up, there a new business is coming in, I know that that's going to be good or bad for my market. I know that I can invest into my neighbor's property that maybe they're asking 280, but maybe it's really worth 330, but the neighbor's going to give me a deal because we're going to keep it off market, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean that that $280,000 off market sale is right, because what if you didn't know that the Rite Aid was moving out and what was moving in was something that was like less stellar for the community, or maybe the ownership changed and all of a sudden it's going to be a fast food restaurant or something else that's going to not raise value. So I think that by being in the community, you ultimately gain the knowledge, and by searching for the deal, you ultimately sacrifice the opportunity to build that knowledge, right? Like when you're searching for a deal, it's like a buzzword that I'm like, nah, we're not going to search for a deal.
Well, then they block everything else out, right?
That's what I mean.
And then you lose that opportunity.
Right.
I could bring up not a past client, but one that I tried to work with, and you know,
one of the one you fired.
Yeah, but like,
I mean, it happens.
It does, and it just wasn't meant to be. And wish him the best of luck. But like, you know, you're getting in for relatively low. You're not even using a down payment here. You're going to live in the property for a year. Like, your cost to buy this up front is very minimal.
Right.
You're going to put minimal money into it in terms of like renovating, what have you. Now your cash flow, because you're not having a down payment, is going to be less when you go to rent it. But like, what do you want here, right? Like, do you want the cash flow? Okay, then let's put a bigger down payment and stop using a VA loan, or use a VA loan, put money down, whatever you want. You have to determine that yourself and understand what avenue you want to go down, rather than like, needs to be this, needs to be this, needs to be this, right? Like,
And then I also look at it like same scenario, different buyer. Let's say that they want to use a 3% down loan for a primary investment. And they're like, okay, I want to use a 3% down loan. I'm going to buy for this much money, and then I'm going to put in, you know, this much to improve the property or do X, Y, Z. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you just use a 10% down loan on a property that's already renovated? Oh, I don't want to do that. Well, help me understand, because at least your 10% is going towards equity, and you don't have this big cash outlay with these risk factors that come after you own the property. Let's look at this as another option. And I think that the biggest thing that I would tell any new investor, any seasoned investor, I don't care about you until you've done 6, maybe 8. You know, like if that person owns 3 rental properties, they're doing well.
Yeah.
But if they're going to tell me how to do it, they're not doing well enough to educate.
Right.
And I think where people are coming at us and they're saying like, well, hey, what knowledge do you have, Heather? You're like, well, I've sold 8 homes. How many homes have you sold? And they're like, none. Well, who do you trust? Oh, I trust the guy that sells 800 homes a year. I'm like, all right. I mean, I'm not going to blame you for that. But at the same time, like, can I educate you because I've done it 8 times? I've got an experience to my back that says, hey, this is right. This is wrong. This is what you should look for. This is what you should look out for. Another thing, like the attitude
some investors come at, they're like, I know exactly what. And like, why are you here working with me?
That's my point.
Like you say you're big in investing. Maybe you have 1 property. Maybe you have 8. Why are you coming to me?
Right.
And then you're demanding all these things. Like, it sounds shitty coming from us, but like, I guess if you're not necessarily in the industry, you wouldn't understand.
So yesterday I was having a conversation with an agent that showed 128 Northeast Avenue, which is on the market, by the way, in case anybody wants a great rental, 4 bedrooms, blah, blah, blah. It's an awesome house. But this woman is looking for her client who is an investor, and her client is looking for grant programs for second home buyers. And I'm like, So is this a second home? Because a second home is a term, but as it turns out, it's not a second home. This is her second purchase, and she wants this as her primary home, where she would keep her other home as her investment property, which is smart. But I'm like, look, I don't know what grant programs exist for second-time homeowners that are holding a primary residence, right? Like for her to sell the primary residence makes sense and then get a potential grant to help her pay for the down payment and closing costs for the second home. But this isn't like you don't get free money to go make money. That's not how the world turns.
And here's like another, not super relatable to that specific property, but like looking at the difference between a 3% down payment and a 5% on like a $300,000 house is what, $6,000?
It's
like
going to be a $4,000 difference.
I think it's 6.
Six.
Yeah.
2%,
15 and then 9, right?
It was 6,000 to 10,000.
4.
Oh, I'm tripping. I'm
Tripping.
tripping. Balls.
But like
I see now where I messed
$6,000,
up.
if you had the opportunity to put an extra $6,000 down and then make up for it in cash flow when you go to rent it out because your mortgage payment is lower, like take that opportunity. But then also people come to us like without any capital and like, hey, I want to buy this home. Like whether it be auction, whether it be just flat out like buying and then putting money into it, right? Like they think this money just falls out of the sky and like, hey, I want to do these renovations. Like, okay, do you know how much this is going to cost? Like, what are you comfortable bringing to the table? And they're like, $10,000.
So you're just going to pull another $15,000 for these renovations out of your butt? Or?
Right.
Well, and the one that I love, and I'm kind of a model example of this, it was kind of an accident, to be honest with you. I was living with 2 other people. We were renting a place. My total expenses all in was $600. That's BGE, cable, internet, and rent, $600. And we had a nice house, but I was sharing it with 2 other people. I went to go move into my house and it was $1,500 a month. Well, in my head, I was like, I'm never going to be able to afford that. I'll get a roommate. Well, then I wanted to do renovations. And then it was like, before I knew it, a year had gone by and I still didn't have my renovations like ready to have a roommate. All of a sudden I had a position where I could have had a roommate, but then I didn't want one. Right. So I like cut myself out because the renovations withheld. And then I was like, oh, I'm too good for a roommate. Right.
Now you have one.
Right. But then I have a client right now today, shout out to Jared, who literally in his negotiation, he was like, look, I'll pay through the nose for this property because I'm going to have a roommate that's going to immediately rent. I have a basement with a walkout with a primary bathroom and a separate room. So they could have like a enclosed bedroom den office space. They could have a big open basement space with a full bathroom and their own entrance. They're going to pay me, let's just say $1,000 a month. So I'll go $15,000 over my current budget because I can afford it, I can do it, and I can immediately get that return from a rental perspective. It's a VA loan. But in the end of the day, his perspective was this house is more money than I wanted to spend, but I will spend it because I can afford, let's just say the monthly payment was $4,000. And he wanted to be at $3,600. He's like, I can afford that $400. And I'm going to immediately get $1,000 a month rolling in.
And you're going to get that money back in a year,
right?
A quarter.
Exactly. So like we have these investors that come to us, like Christian said, where it's like, oh, it's a second home. I want to get a grant program. I'm not buying until I get a grant program. I'm like, all right, well then I'm not going to waste my time with you.
And like people listening, like don't think we're like shitty people.
No. Wait. There's a better thing to think about. We're not shitty people.
We're not.
We're the right agents telling you what you need to hear.
Right.
Because the agent that I talked to yesterday was the wrong agent for that potential buyer. Instead of setting the right expectations, that agent went and walked my property as if she was going to be with her client. And it's like, why are you wasting your time? Why does your client think that this is a viable opportunity? Only because there are bad real estate agents out there with bad information and don't know how to get the proper information to their client.
I wouldn't even say just real estate agents. Like the internet has so much bad information, and they come to us, and like we try to educate them, and then it's like a war almost. It's like fighting back.
I just thought of something.
What?
Did you watch the webinar series this morning?
Yeah.
Liv put the webinar on today. And she was like very intentional about this webinar because she goes, you keep yelling at them to make their phone calls. So I'm just going to play a phone call webinar. So Patrick, the guy that ran the webinar.
He's in all of Tom Ferry's podcasts. I don't know if you guys listen to it.
It's his brother.
But all of them.
And I love Patrick. He's so approachable. You can walk up to Patrick and just be like, hey, my name's Mike. And he's like, oh, cool, Mike. What's going on? And it's not like this awkward conversation. He's very, very approachable. He's very nice. Not saying nobody else is, but anyway, I love Patrick. So did you notice that at the beginning he gave an introduction and he said that he's only been licensed for 4 years?
Yeah.
So he's been educating for 17 years. And I'm not knocking Patrick. What I'm saying is, do you know that the resource that you're getting the information from is a viable source? Just because some dude gets on TikTok and says, hey, here's a real estate hack that you could take. What if they've never sold a house? What if they've never invested in real estate? What if they don't know?
What if they've never even done it? I think the biggest way to learn is through experience. And a lot of these people that are like pushing out this information, they might not have the experience, which like you can define yourself if that's right or wrong or good for you or not for you, right? But like we live this like life. This is our job, our full-time job. Like this is what we do.
I have a full-time job.
On recording. I thought you were going to do it.
Oh, no.
No, go ahead.
I can't do it on the spot. I have a full-time job.
I can. But anyway. But no, I agree. And I think that, you know, the conversation that I had with this agent yesterday, she was so nice and so willing to listen and willing to hear me, which is great. But I can tell that her client is not willing to hear her. And that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Is like, who do you know? Why do you trust them? What value are they bringing? And, you know, this podcast is an example. Our To Be Frank show, our YouTube page, our TikToks, our Instagrams. Like, shout out to everybody that does so much information. And the one random awful video quality that Allison does running through the woods like the Blair Witch Project. And she's like, this is what you need to know about a septic system. It's really, really valuable information. And then you get, you know, Chris from Chicago dropping like, oh, here's 3 ways to save money on your rental investment. Like, what if Chris has never sold a house, doesn't have a real estate license, doesn't know? Like, where is he getting his value from?
A TikTok question?
TikTok.
Sure.
TikTok. I saw that if you take your principal amount and divide it by 6 and pay that amount extra every month.
Principal amount divided by 6. Okay, continue.
And then if you pay that every month extra, that it cuts down a significant amount of years on your mortgage life.
Okay, so
I know that
that's
you can,
a really complicated way to say the same exact thing. Do you know what the other thing is?
I feel like you're about to say
like dividing it by 2 and paying it twice a month.
No, but close. When you buy a house, you make one monthly payment. What are the 5 things that are included in your monthly payment?
Your principal, your interest, your insurance.
Sure, mortgage insurance. Yep.
Your
homeowners insurance. Mortgage insurance is the 5th one.
I was doing mortgage insurance. And homeowners insurance. Taxes.
Taxes, right? So you've got 6 or 5 things that make up your monthly payment.
Yeah.
You're going to pay that once a month because that's when the bill comes out. You pay it once a month, right? You put it on auto pay, and it just comes out of your bank account. Well, what if you put it on auto pay every 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Which is the exact same way that you get paid from your employer, right? So you get every 2 weeks, it deducts a half. So instead of paying, let's just say $1,500 a month, you pay $750 every 2 weeks. What you end up doing, you end up making 2 additional payments, which then ends up being 1 full additional payment of $1,500, which then goes towards principal, which then buys down your interest or your principal balance, and you will pay off your house in blank years faster just by paying every other week, 1 additional payment per year, 2 additional biweekly payments every other week. How many years do you cut off of your 30-year mortgage?
We've definitely talked about this before. I think I feel like this is wrong, but I also kind of feel like it's right. I don't know. 8? Yeah. Maybe 5?
No.
3?
Yeah. 8.
8?
8.
Hey, okay, so I was right.
Right. So it's not specific, but yes, it's about 8 years. And so what's going to happen is just by making that 1 additional payment, that $1,500 extra annual, you're going to save 8 years on your mortgage. And that's true if your monthly payment is $2,500 or $2,900 or $3,600. If you pay 1 additional payment, $3,600 extra, whether you do it in the weird way that you said, whether you do it in bi-weekly payments instead of once a month, or whether you just do 1 extra payment every year, it will buy off 8 years of your mortgage. But again, to Christian's point, is that is that investing your money wisely, or could that money be used better
Go
elsewhere?
to something else, yeah.
And so I think that's where it comes back to who you are as a person. And I think there are some people that are just, they don't give a shit. They are risk positive. Like the more risk I can have, the more I'm going to succeed, the better off I'm going to be. And then there are people that are risk averse.
Yeah.
And then there are people that won't even make that one extra payment because they're so scared that they won't have the money in the bank. It's like a limiting belief. That was my mom. That my mom, that's just the way she worked.
Yeah.
She just needed that comfort, needed that monthly payment, needed everything happening on a system. And she's incredibly successful, very, very happy, very, very skillful. But incredibly successful is all relative. Yeah. To me, my mom had enough money in the bank to retire. To me, my mom had a great pension. To me, my mom had a great equity in 2 properties. To me, that's successful. Now, if your life is to say, I need 20 so that I can retire when I'm 40, you got 16 years, girl.
Oh, I know.
So when are you going to buy your first property?
Hopefully this year, but we'll talk about this later. I'm currently big life things.
I'm with it.
We'll chat about it.
I'm with it. Oh, yeah. But the thing that people fail to acknowledge is that if you wait 6 months, you just waited like 7% of your capacity. Almost. Maybe it's 4%. Maybe I can't do that.
All I can say, and I think to summarize a lot of stuff, just talk to like someone in your market, or like help you come up with a game plan for how you're going to invest, how you're going to buy a property. Like, what was that?
I was just
normally you have something to say when you do that.
What I was thinking was talk to someone in your market that you can trust. But I think the conversation needs to be listen to someone in your market that you can trust. Because I feel like a lot of these people talk at us, investors.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm also kind of, Jesus Christ. I'm relating to like Heather bringing up a TikTok video. Like she heard some of this information, talking to you to see if it's true. One of my clients, like she watched a TikTok video. She was like, yeah, I just see all these things about how you can like save this money and like not be out of pocket, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, it's like kind of true. Like send me the video that you're talking about. And it had this list of things. And she's like, I can do all of that. And I'm like, well, here's what we can do.
Right.
And like, this is like, yeah, it's somewhat true. But based off of what you and your boyfriend, husband are trying to do, like, this is the route that we should take, and these are the things that you could take advantage of,
right,
rather than like looking at this TikTok, this other video, like I'm doing everything there.
Right.
But it doesn't exactly fit what you're trying to do.
Well, and like I'm sitting here thinking, Liv, we need to do a TikTok on Smart Buy 3.0, right? Because like that's the kind of shit that goes fire, and it's so easy. We can do that, and people can be like, oh my God, I want to do that. Yeah. And it's done. Like we're not tricking anybody. We're not manipulating the system. We're not taking advantage of anything. We're not like Savvy Investor Portal. It's like there's a program out there to grant and wipe away $50,000 of your student loan debt. So if you're sitting here listening to our podcast and you have 57,000 or
What's
62,
the income cap for that?
Yo, I don't know.
Gotta wait for the video.
But it's also different based on where you're buying, what city you're buying in, what town what town you're looking in, what county, what the restrictions are in that area. And like some people might be thinking about buying in Maryland versus DC, or Maryland versus Pennsylvania, or Maryland versus Delaware, New Jersey. Like these are reasons that you should know. But if you have $37,000 in student loan debt that's costing you $470 a month, you have a $1,600 monthly payment on your rental property, let's go buy you an $1,800 a month mortgage that's going to build you equity, pay off your whole student loan debt, forgive that $400 a month, and then you're going to be able to breathe. You're not going to be buried under this debt forever.
Even if you had a $2,000 payment, it would still even out. What if you bought that property with $2,000 a month where you're even Steven on your monthly mortgage? What if that property lost value over the next 5 years? What if you were able to sell the property and move on and be with your boo or whoever you want to spend time with, your life partner, and then you had to sell that property at a loss? What if you had to pay $13,000 to sell your property? What if in 5 years you still made $37,000? Versus staying in your current mortgage, staying in your current rent, where you're
monthly is going to continue to go up, going to continue to appreciate. So right now it's $1,600, but in 5 years, I'll be damn sure it's going to be $2,000, maybe more, plus that $400 a month that you have to pay towards your student loan principal, you know, plus you got a dog that got sick and all this other shit that's going on in your life. And then what do you have at the end of 5 years? You got more bills, more expenses, and a dog. No equity build, no principal buy down, no nothing. And all you did over the last 5 years was talk about investing in commercial property.
Damn.
Right? Like, I just wish that we could tell people $50,000 student pay down or student loan pay down.
Well, the thing is, like, when you, I don't know, it's the shitty part about social media. If I wasn't a real estate agent, I probably wouldn't have it.
I already
it's like,
deleted mine regardless, so.
Yikes.
Well, you don't have your.
Keep going.
What? Breaking news. Heather deleted her Instagram.
Breaking news.
And my TikTok.
And now I lost where I was going with this. Oh, like the controversial shit. Rather than us being like straight up about this like program, giving them the exact details of everything, I feel like the only things that get that attention are the things that are like controversial, not 100% right. Outlandish, and it's fucking annoying. Like, we make great content.
Okay, but you have to think about what people are attracted to. They want something
That's
spicy.
the problem with today. So the real problem with today is that we have people, and I'm thinking of my cousin, no offense to you, Nikki. Nikki is spending probably $2,000 a month renting in downtown Baltimore, maybe more, right? And she's got this cute little apartment in this cute little building, and she comes downstairs every day to the doorman who lets, you know, people in and out, collects packages. She takes the dog for a walk. She runs around the harbor. She does all this amazing, amazing stuff. And then in 5 years, what has she done? She's done nothing more than spend like $100,000 and no equity to build for it.
Yeah.
Plus, she's still got student loans. And I'm thinking to myself that there's so many opportunities for people to take advantage. When you talk about investing, you talk about your clients that are going to build wealth and build equity for the future. What if you just bought your first property today? What if it was a bad investment?
Here's a great idea. Maybe we like work at this from another angle and preach to people, hey, here's how to waste $100,000.
Yikes.
And go get an apartment in downtown Baltimore. Yeah, you can walk around the harbor, have your dog, and then 5 years later, you'll be in the whole $100,000.
I mean,
even us sitting here.
Or you can get married.
Well, you know.
I love you.
Hashtag
Sending it to Amanda.
Right? Anyway, you were going to say something. I don't know. But look, what if we took that approach? And
honestly, now I'm thinking giving it a try.
Liv, can we start doing that? Like, I want to take the neg approach, right? Neg approach and just be, guys, look.
Hey, do you want to waste $100,000? Here's how you do it.
You want to know what's really fucked up? What's really fucked up is that you guys went to a Live Baltimore event. You hosted this event. You had this cute little screen. You had all these great games and you talked to all these people. But the fucking thing that people missed was the fucking poster that was behind you that said that Alan bought this house with this much grant, with this much opportunity. And people were like, that's pretty. And moved on.
What I did,
a lot of people actually commented on that. And he brought a lot of attention to it.
I incorporated it. It was literally right beside me. And after the game, I was like, hey, hopefully this puts into perspective owning versus buying. Like you guys who here at Lift Trolley Tour, we met this gentleman, Alan, a year ago, settled in September recently. Like, this is what he took advantage of, and this is how he did it.
We should just get him to come to the Trolley Tour.
Honestly.
We're only allowed 2 people from the team, but like, hey.
From the team.
I'm the worst. Yes,
Even
ma'am.
if we did an interview and played it on like a TV or something.
I cannot wait to get to our client appreciation
Projector
party.
stage. Oh.
And what we're going to do is we're going to have client interviews. Because I want to have that content.
We should set it up like a NFL game day or like a college game day. And everyone's in the background and we're sitting up on the stand with the people. And
I
then
was
someone has
thinking
a
more
sign in the
like
background.
confessional.
Jesus.
What?
Like,
Real estate
where are we
confessional.
going?
Do you guys watch, like, have you never seen on, like, Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
Oh, I don't
like,
watch that show.
They have,
God.
like, their
yeah,
plot,
yeah,
and then they're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
so when I heard that, I was just like, Like
Yes.
we could
Right.
we could set it up back here.
Or like The Office, where like everything's happening behind them.
Yeah.
in the
Okay, I
window.
can get
That's a
behind that.
confession.
That's what she's talking about.
Okay, okay.
Anyway,
That's what that is.
but I do think that there's so much good content out there, and it's like our job to dispel that information. And what we have been taking the approach of like one-on-one personalized consultations, sitting here going through like your equity review. And I think that this stuff is really important, but I worry that there's not enough. I worry that there's not enough. How do I say it? Like
Positive, to
Reliable
counteract
information?
the
no,
negative.
like there's not enough. Like there's not enough people that are hearing this information, because this is one-on-one. This is like your personal equity review. This is your wealth review. This is your real estate portfolio in review. But yet the people that need to hear it are the ones that are out there following that guy that bought a Rolls Royce on TikTok for $7,000, right? Like the people that are not getting this information are getting led to, I should buy a commercial property.
I mean, I think it all kind of leads back to the way that we're targeting too, in the same hand that we were talking about our meeting this morning, like getting into the minds of the people that we're trying to target. Like who is trolling on Instagram for 3 hours to watch your stuff? Like
Let's neg them. Let's drop a TikTok at 11:45 at night and be like, are you laying in bed trying to think about investing? Right? Like, but
are you
Michael
laying in
be
bed
there.
thinking about how
That's a
you
great
can
idea.
waste $100,000 in a year?
Yeah.
Let me
Right.
chat with you.
But that's the kind of content that we need to dispel, because that's what people are attracted to. And then they're getting with the wrong people. And that's ultimately the whole thing. That's our whole mission, is to build confidence through education and sharing with our team. But now we need to start sharing with the public, not just our clients, but the public themselves.
Let's hit the streets.
I mean, I'm about it. Christian wants to go door knocking on 128 Northeast.
I think we should
Nah.
go door knocking at luxury apartments in
You
downtown.
can't get in.
We'll find a way.
Fuck. I'm like, wait a second.
Anyway, all right. Well, it's time. Sorry, team.
When-
We got to roll out of here. But at any rate, always can reach us. You know where to hit us, at frankoliverco.com. If you haven't already, check out our blogs. There's a ton of information from today's show about investing. I think it's like 7 pages that Liv is going to be putting on there, talking about benefits, risks, reasons not to invest in real estate. And ultimately, if you haven't already gotten an equity review, get with one of us. Get an equity review of your financial portfolio as it pertains to real estate. And hopefully we can help you grow that portfolio this year. You know how to reach me. Hit me on Instagram at MichaelFrank _____. And you
Don't
can always
forget
reach
to
out to
smash
myself.
that like
I was
button.
waiting for
that
someone
like
to
button.
say it.
Oh my God, what a hater. Anyway, Heather, how can they reach you?
It's Heather Kelley, spelled with an EY 230, and that's my Instagram. That's my everything.
There you go,
I
Christian.
didn't think he had Instagram.
She's just trying.
I
She's
don't.
slowly
All right.
canceling it out.
Christian the Deadhead on Instagram. Reach me at christian@frankoliverco.com and 443-975-8626. Deuces.
Peace out, guys. We'll see you real soon.